It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is the 17th of December. How did it get to be 17th already? And this is...
a week from today, it's Christmas Eve.
God, can you believe that?
I can. It's mid-December. We got to do it.
Right. This is the B block, and we start off with... What do we start off with, John?
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
John, I think you nailed it that time. I think you were right on key, exactly right on the money. Pitch perfect, as they say. And
Brad, thank you.
And what we start off with?
It's number 3.
I'm still debating how I'm going to do this morning. I'm looking at my top 3
Flip
list.
a coin, Brad. Ring your bell and see where it vibrates.
Okay, let's do this. There is a secret room at one of the clubs in Sauget. And
oh, yeah? And it's besides the Hildebrand room.
No, this is a true story. This is the secret. And I once again, I used to work for the Sauget folks. Not me personally. I mean, I did. My company did work for Sauget. And we did work at the Pops and Oz and a couple of strip clubs. At the one point in time was Diamond Cabaret. I owned a lighting company at one point in time, okay? And it was sort of a weird story that I drove up one night with my lighting unit, and I was told to talk to the manager. And then turned out the manager was a guy I went to high school with. Well, anyway, he showed me around one of the clubs, and he showed me this super private room in the back of the club that was, they called it the Super Club. And the Super Club, you know why they called it the Super Club?
I have no idea.
Because this is where all the local high school, our school district superintendents have a own private club.
Is this about Edwardsville, Brad?
You knew where I was going with this.
Tell me about it, Brad. What's going on here, and where did you find the story?
Well, it's been all over the place. I actually found this in the Edwardsville Intelligencer. Do you ever look at that news source, John?
No, and I love the fact that Edwardsville thinks they're so intelligent, they called their paper Intelligencer.
Intelligencer, okay.
I don't care at all about Illinois. I think it's a disgusting part of the country, but go ahead.
You and I talk about this all the time, or at least I do. The revolving door that is superintendents. Now, we have it all over the country. We have the bizarre case of the dude in Des Moines who had actually at one point in time worked for the school district here in the city of St. Louis, and we found out what his job title is, but we can't figure out what he did by his job title, because remember, he was like network supervisor or some crazy term like that. Oh,
yeah. He had something that showed that he didn't exactly clock in for 40 hours a week.
Right, okay. So we now have another superintendent. I need to get that Queen song. Another one bites the dust. This guy has officially been given the golden handshake by the Edwardsville School Board. But once again, nobody will talk about it. Don't you find this interesting, John?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, there's just so much. I think if you're a school district, you have to balance, disclosure versus the fact that it's taxpayer money that's paying for this stuff.
And the true reason behind this is Brad knows the truth that there's the super room over at one of the clubs in Sauget, and all the superintendents go there because during the day, they're mild-mannered, laid-back, buttoned-down men and women who run our school district. But at night, there's going to be a reality show about this. At night, they cross the bridge. The Edwardsville guy didn't have to do that, but the Missouri people cross the bridge, head south on Route 3, and let it all hang out, literally. Get what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, and Brad, now the asterisk here, in the sake of being diverse, and you and I are quite embracing of diversity, of, orientation and things like that. You'll recall that the case in the Ferguson-Florissant School District and the Riverview Garden School District, I guess those those men would be going to a male, Chippendale type place, right? Because those men enjoyed some sort of carnal thing, but it wasn't, let's harken back to China and say it wasn't VA China. Exactly. You know what I mean?
So you're telling me what, John? I gotta do something. You're telling me that it's
ancient Chinese secret.
Is that what you're telling me, John?
Oh, now that's why China got mad at me, Brad. They wanted me to. They heard that I had a little bit of experience in navigating when I used to work for the government. I knew a lot about the Veterans Administration. And I said, no, you guys got it wrong. I'm just an expert on vagina, not China.
Okay, here we go.
Not the VA in China.
Here we go. Number 2.
It's time for Brad's number 2. It's time for Brad's number 2.
John, from time to time, and I know probably haven't mentioned this in probably a year and a half, the law of unintended consequences. I talk about
It's
this.
been like 2 years, Brad. What is the law of unintended consequences? What is that?
Joe Rogan's show recently touched on a problem. He talked about we have a problem with a lot of states where states are allowing monsters to proliferate. I can't even talk this morning. Do you know what monsters he's talking about, John?
No idea.
Mountain lions. Mountain lions.
Oh, I haven't seen this, Brad.
Yes, because in some states they've made it expressly prohibited to kill mountain lions, to hunt mountain lions. And you know what the unintended consequences of that is?
A lot of delicious meat.
As the mountain lions become more, not just in the rural area, but come into some of the suburban areas, you know what they're feasting upon?
Garbage.
Dogs and cats.
Oh, no, Brad.
Yes, the mountain lions are feasting on people's pets. And the interesting part of this is the more legislation there is against shooting mountain lions, the worse the situation is. And they talk about specifically in California. Now, the interesting part of this is that you and I, well, at least I'm sort of fascinated by this whole thing with the aging population and, you know, the negative population growth. And in Japan, it's expressly really bad. In Japan, the hunters are aging out. There are no new young kids in Japan for some crazy reason who are taking up hunting. All the guys who are hunters are like in their 50-plus bracket, and as they get older, they don't go hunting anymore, and they are dying off as well, too. So there aren't as many hunters hunting the mountain lions because in Japan, you can hunt and kill mountain lions. It's gotten so bad. Donald Trump should take note of this. It's gotten so bad that guess who has now been enlisted to hunt the mountain lions in Japan, John?
Local samurai.
The Japanese army. The Japanese army.
Oh, wow. Okay, I was close.
The Japanese army has literally been enlisted to, and they're saying out there, enlisted men to go and kill mountain lions because they're becoming so prolific in some areas of Japan that they are literally showing up at people's front doors and scaring the bejesus out of people. So once again, the law of unintended consequences, which is sort of interesting because there's a similar situation with the black bear population as well too. You know, I mean that's
in the state of Missouri. Why we can't hunt them?
Well, aren't they giving limited permits for that? Wasn't that the thing with the MDC? They're giving limited permits for black bear hunting. I thought that was a deal.
Yeah, it might be. You might have to be in a specific region, but you might be right about that, Brad.
Okay, we ready for number one?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, here we go.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
I have sort of a routine here with the show. John and I go on the air about 7 o'clock. And then after 8 o'clock, I switch studios and I go and I chop up the show and I put it up on our various Facebook pages and YouTube and throw it on our own channel on bjshow.co, our own webpage. So yesterday, I had an appointment at 9 o'clock. And I got done at 8:30, and I was driving to my appointment at 9 o'clock, and I normally listen to other stations, and I haven't listened to 93.3 in a while, and I listened to Rick and Tracy's station, 93.3, and I have to tell you that I heard my old employee, Dan Strauss, who's one of the nicest guys in the world, the Dan and Drew Morning Crew, is that what they call themselves?
Yeah, the Morning Crew with Dan and Drew, yeah.
Okay, they're real good. I mean, they are, and look, I'm going to give a compliment. When Tracy first started the radio station, it was an FTW. And all I'll tell you is T is train and W is wreck, and you can figure out what the F is.
Yeah,
okay?
The FTW is usually for the win or forget the world, but you're saying a freaking train wreck.
Right, it was a freaking train wreck, and it was horrible, okay? I have to compliment. The station really sounds good, and it's partly due to, hold on, I gotta clear my voice here. It's partly due to Dan Strauss, who's a radio guy, and also the guy, I think his name is Jim Fishback. Everybody calls him Fish, who used to be...
Yeah, you know him. You've had plenty of interaction with him before, right?
Who used to be at the Viper. And I don't quite understand what the deal is with him. He owns his own radio stations. He actually owns two of them down in Marion, Illinois. But he doesn't work at his radio station. He lives up here in St. Louis, and somebody else runs this radio station. I don't quite understand that. But anyway, as I'm driving, and after I got done with my 9 o'clock appointment... Oh, here we go, my voice again. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, after I got done with my 9 o'clock appointment, it's about 9:45, and the radio was still on 93.3. So I get in my truck, and I drive away, and I'm listening to The Rob Carter Show, okay? And once again, I think I spoke with Rob a couple times. Pretty good guy. I mean, I like what he does on the air, and the station sounded good, commercial sounding good. And he brings on this lady who you probably know all about. I had no idea who she was, and I did like a little deep dive on that. You can help me with this. Her name is Sandra McDowell. Does that name sound familiar, John?
Yeah, she ran for state auditor, I want to say, a few years ago. I believe it was auditor back in, was that 2018, something like that?
I think at one point in time she actually ran for the governor, too. Somebody told me that, I asked somebody about her, and they said they thought she ran for governor. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I think she ran for some other office, like auditor at some point.
Okay, very impressive woman. They talked about the fact that she studied at Oxford in Great Britain. She has
wow.
Right. Oh, hold on, hear my voice again. I'm sorry, John. She has a law degree, and she's a big-time political person, okay? So what they started talking about was, and I thought to myself, this has gotten so ridiculous. They started talking about the Erica Kirk, Candance Owens feud. Do you know what's going on with this crazy crap?
Yeah, and I've invested very little time in it because I don't have much interest in it. But correct me if I'm wrong here based on what you've heard. Candance Owens claims that there was a big conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk, like a grand conspiracy. And Candance Owens also says the same people who killed Charlie Kirk are also trying to kill Candance Owens. And I guess the tension comes because Candance Owens says something to the effect of, "Hey, Erica Kirk, I'm trying to help you." And Erica Kirk politely, in a way, says, "I think this theory's crazy. What are you talking about?" And then there was a lot of bad blood. And then they got together yesterday, Candance says, for 4 hours, or maybe Erica Kirk said they sat down together for 4 hours and understood each other better or whatever, right?
Well, and the story gets even weirder. Okay, first off, there was a time when I would see some of these YouTube posts and reels and things like that from Candance Owens, and I thought to myself, man, this lady's impressive. And now I don't even listen to her anymore because she's gotten totally wackadoodle, okay? She's gone off the wackadoodle edge. And you're exactly right. Part of the issue is she claims that Erica Kirk should watch her backside because there were people working in Turning Point USA who were behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And those people are still employed by Turning Point USA. And they're like the enemy from within. They're like the virus that's going to consume Turning Point from the inside. And I'm going like, okay, what is this crap? Now, there's an interesting part of the story that Sandra McDowell brings up. And I thought to myself, John, let's say today is Wednesday, and today's date is the 17th, okay? Let's say today you went out, and you're a single guy still, right? You're a single guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say today you went out and you had lunch, and you were sitting at a table by yourself, and a young woman came over to you and said, "Hey, do you mind if I have lunch with you?" And you said, "Fine." And 10 days later, you married that woman. Would people go, "That's weird"? Wouldn't they think that was weird, John?
Yeah, that seems kind of strange, sure.
Supposedly, do you know this about Candance Owens?
No, I don't.
When she met her husband, she married him 10 days later. So
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
They met, and they got married 10 days later. So I'm thinking to myself, that's just weird. You know, I mean, and so the interesting part of this is that Sandra McDowell is talking about the fact that it's all about money. That what she's doing is she's doing the classic, money for clicks kind of thing, where she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars on her various platforms that are paying her and YouTube and things like that. Every time she posts one of these wackadoodle posts, she's getting all these people going, "Oh my God, we got to watch Candance Owens. She's going to talk about Charlie Kirk being murdered again." And people swap to these, go to these sites, and they soak up all this crap. And she's just playing everybody. I mean, John, what do you think? Do you think she's a wackadoodle, or you think she's the smartest woman on the face of the earth?
I think so. The easy answer is to say it's both. And I think that you're incentivized to say crazy things whether you're a Nick Fuentes, and I've chosen to actively ignore whatever controversy is going on with that content creator. But I think that, no, it seems as though Candance Owens probably really believes, and Brad, we probably have people in our lives who aren't at all interested in politics, but they have their own conspiracy theories. You know, Uncle Jim tried to get Bobby's inheritance. Like, people at in our own family or acquaintance circles have their own conspiracy theories that they're equally committed to, and they're probably a little bit on the spectrum or touched by an angel, however you want to put it. And I think Candace might just be one of those people, but she has a big following. And so a percentage of people are going to, if Candance Owens says that there's a conspiracy that the French government, or she claimed that some government was out to kill her, she says that to, out of 100,000 people, there's probably, 1,000 people who are ready to take up arms.
Well, remember, if you know this little nugget of Candance Owens, she's also the one who pushed the theory that Macron's wife is really a man. Remember this bizarre story?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Well, didn't she boss him? Wasn't there footage of them getting off a plane and she was putting him in his place because he's a whiny little French cup or something?
Well, supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not. Somebody sent me this meme of it was a picture of Macron's wife going to a clinic in France to get the DNA testing to prove that she's actually a woman and not a man. I mean, first off, okay, who cares? I mean, in the big scheme of things, who cares? I mean, and not only that, the French people are sort of weird anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's an understatement of the year.
Right.
And aren't most of them smelly?
Well, they don't take
I do
showers.
not have them confused with another.
No, they
ethnicity.
don't use deodorant and stuff like that. But anyway, big picture thing. Sandra McDowell and Rob Carter probably talked about this for 30 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe they're still talking about this.
Yeah, but there's probably a lot of people that listen, and I mean no shade at all, but there's probably a lot of people who listen to 93.3 who are up on the Nick Fuentes stuff and are up on Candance Owens and who view it as, infotainment. It's kind of informational and it's kind of entertainment.
Rick and Tracy, you've come a long way with your radio station. I think it sounds good. I'm proud of you. Now,
wasn't there a ballad written? I'm going to interrupt you. Didn't somebody write a ballad about them? Wasn't there a majestic ballad written about them last week?
John, I'm shooting for my second cease and desist letter. I've already got one. Been in the business over 50 years. Never got a cease and desist letter until I got one from Tracy Ellis, and I'm trying to get a second one. Yes, that's my goal in life. Matter of fact, I've only got today's the 17th. I've only got 14 more days till the end of the year to give.
And then C-Block yesterday decided you have 14 more days to finish your shooting rounds for the year, Brad. Dr. Phil says you need 200.
Well, and if things go properly and I get my operation, I may have less than 14 days to live. You never know. I mean, okay. Once again, when you're 90, you got one foot in the grave and another foot in the banana peel. You don't know when the day you are living is going to be your last one. You know what I'm saying, John?
Yeah, and your third leg is somewhere in an excavated ditch outside of a transmitter.
We have to take a break.